Welcome to a brand new episode of the Tech Your Business podcast, where we show you different ways you can use technology to stay ahead of your competition. Today, we'll be talking about one topic that a lot of business owners lose a lot of money on, which is Facebook, or would I say Meta ads. Back when Facebook ads started, they were really simple. I remember I had a business back then, almost 10 years ago, thereabouts, where you could just put an ad, the interface was easy, whatever. I think back then we used to, whatever ad we put, we are spending $1 and making $10 back. It was that easy. But these days it's turned to part rocket science. And today's guest is going to talk about that. So today's guest is a Meta certified ad strategist, Carol Kabaale, and she's going to share different strategies, different things you can implement in your Meta ads to avoid wasting a lot of money. So without wasting much time, welcome to the show, Carol.
Thank you so much, Peter, for having me. I'm really excited. And I love that intro because I do think a lot of people think that running ads is a bit like gambling. We just put some money in and tomorrow we become millionaires. And unfortunately, I don't know who told that lie, but it is just that. It's a lie.
No.
There's more things that go to it, and it's a little bit more strategic. And that's the way I love to run ads for my clients.
Honestly, because I remember back in the day back in the day I used to run ads myself. It was so easy. Then let's say like 8 years in or something, I said, okay, let me just log into this interface and try running ads. You won't believe I spent over £1,000 plus and
Yeah,
made no
nothing.
sale. Like I wonder what happened? Where did all the money go? And there's so many people who've tried it, especially where you have that boost post button just staring at you, they boost
Yeah.
and nothing comes out of that boosting.
No, honestly, I will say this. Okay, if you hear nothing else in this interview, hear this. Please do not press that boost button. Okay, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. The reason I don't encourage anyone to press that boost button is because it really is like gambling. You know, it's so easy to create an ad. It's so easy how they tell you, like, yes, just put £10, put $10, put something here, and you're going to get money out. If it was that easy, we would all be millionaires. Now, that's why I think that boost button is a bit like gambling, because you're just throwing it there and hoping something will happen. There's no strategy. There's no like real, what are we doing? There's no purpose. There's no goal. So when running ads, it's really important to have a strategy, to think of what is the purpose of this campaign and then going from there. That boost button, all it gives you is vanity matrix, if I'm quite honest with you. It tells you, oh, you've reached 1 million people. And then what? And then what? Oh, you made so many impressions. Okay. Oh, your video was seen 1 million times. If your objective is not to have 1 million people see your content, then it's not a good ad. Then that wasn't a good
True.
use of your money. And this is something that I really try to explain to all my clients.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that I think a lot of people, especially people just starting out in business, get caught up in these vanity metrics because I've talked back in the day. I used to be a business mentor for a very short time until it got overwhelming. And a lot of the people I talk to, when they say, okay, we are posting on social or we are doing adverts and all that, they're like, oh, I want my likes to increase, I want my views to increase, and I'm like, wait, you're spending money to get these likes and views. You have a lot of likes, you have a lot of views. A lot of these likes, these views, they're coming from people you that probably can't afford or can't buy from you. So where's the money you're spending? Where is it coming back from? So when you talk about strategy, what sort of options are you looking at? Should a business owner look at before putting any money towards Facebook or Meta ads?
So I always like to ask people, what season are you in your business, right? So are you in a season of visibility? Do you need to get more eyeballs and more engagement with your content? A lot of people, they spend all this money and all this time doing things like creating reels, creating carousels, creating content on Canva and whatever. You spend all this time, you even hire a social media manager, you're spending all this money. And then, like you said, there's zero likes, there's zero engagement, there's zero anything. And that's because you're dependent on an algorithm that you cannot control. So therefore, you're creating all this content and literally praying like, please, 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 let someone see my content, right? So for people who have already very good content, but are just struggling to not be seen, I would suggest a season of visibility, ads that are going to get you that exposure and engagement, right? Because you don't only want people to see it, you want them to interact with your content, to show the algorithm, hey, this is a good piece of content. So that's the one objective that we run. The second one is more like a lead magnet objective, and it's more like growing your email list. I'm a huge fan of growing an email list because, Peter, let me tell you something. All these platforms, I don't care what it's called, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, whatever, it is not yours. It is owned by people who today they like you and tomorrow they don't like you. It happened to me personally. 2 years ago, my Facebook account was hacked while I was in my Facebook account. And I watched the hackers lock me out of my Facebook, like change my passwords. I was trying to change it on my phone. It was gone. Like less than 5 minutes, these guys were like, gone, gone. And now, let's say as a business owner, my whole business was built on Facebook. Right now, maybe we wouldn't even be talking because I would have had nothing. Maybe I would have just been crying in a corner, I don't know, being very upset, because everything that I built was taken away from me. I mean, I even had sentimental things on that account. It's the account where I met my husband. It's the account I started when I was like 13 years old. I was like a child.
Wow.
So I had all those memories, all those things gone. But also from a business point of view, there were conversations I was having. There was a Facebook group I had. And in that Facebook group of mine, I had over 10,000 people gone.
Whoa.
So again, you cannot build your business on borrowed land. Hence why I'm a huge advocate of let's create an email list, right? Let's interact in these platforms, fine. Let's get visibilities from these platforms, fine. But let's move them to another location. Let's continue the conversation elsewhere where we have more control. And one thing that I can say has been really consistent is emails. Emails have been here since dial-up. I know I'm showing my age here by knowing what dial-up is, but dial-up, guys, you remember it. So emails were back then, and they're not going away anytime soon. So why not invest in something like that? The last one, the last season that you might be in is a season of sales. Now, this is everybody's favorite season. It's probably your favorite season too, and why you didn't make your money back. The problem I see with business owners is they want to skip visibility. They want to skip nurturing and growing and being top of mind. They want to go straight to the sale. They want to get that ROI, and that is fine. But let me ask you something, Peter. If you and I met today, and let's say I wasn't married, and you came up to me and you were like, Carol, I want to marry you. Do you think I'm going to say yes?
You're going to
Do you
laugh.
honestly? I'm going to laugh in your face. I'm going to be like, excuse me, who are you? I don't know you. I don't know your family. I don't know what. No, I can't marry you. It's the same thing with the sale. As business owners, we want to create these ads and we want people to buy our product, but they don't trust us. They don't know us. They don't know why they should buy from us instead of somebody else. Hence, you are investing money and seeing no returns. So this would be the last campaign I would run for people, and I would suggest they do only if they have a warm audience. If they have people who already know a little bit about them, and now you're presenting a solution in form of a sale.
Okay, so I think there's a lot to unpack from there because first of all, you talked about the visibility side, which it's important. Then about emails, I think I had a guest on Friday that said the first spam email was sent in 1985, and I was like, I wasn't even born in 1985.
Wasn't even born. They're still here today. Emails are not going away. They're the toughest ones. Please.
Yeah. So now, you talked about 3 different stages of the business running ads. So then the visibility, the lead magnets, and the sales, season of sales. So what that means, from what I understand, is that probably you should have different types of content for each type of ad at each stage.
Yes. And also a big thing is you don't need to run all 3 seasons at the same time. Sometimes this is where we get stuck in our heads. We're like, oh, we want to do everything. Well, you don't have to. Maybe you're just starting out, so your biggest concern is visibility, is making sure you understand and know who your target audience is, what do they want, what do they need, getting all that data, which you can get really quickly from running ads. Because ads really, if you know what, people think they're like this big secret, but they're not. All they are is a giant magnifying glass. It just amplifies whatever you have going on. And you know, if you have a good product, if you have a good service, people are going to come and buy this good product or service. If you do not, then it will just show you, oh, when people are trying to buy on my website, it's very difficult for them to complete the sale. You can close that gap. Oh, when people add something to their cart, I'm not sending them abandoned cart emails to complete the sale. Oh, you can add that in. It really amplifies and shows you where the leaks in your funnel are so that you can improve and have better conversion.
Okay, so I think one question that'll come out of this is you've talked about running adverts at the last stage being wrong because people don't really know you and you're going to waste a lot of money. But now when you talk about having to run ads at the visibility stage, you're spending money there, the lead magnet stage, you're spending money there. Doesn't this get expensive to a business trying to go through all the stages before they start asking for the sale? Or is there a way around it?
So don't get me wrong. We are being visible, but we are slowly selling. We're planting the seed. So when I say the objective, so when you're looking at your data, maybe for the visibility one, what you're going to look at as your metrics are how many people clicked, liked, comment, engaged. Those are the metrics you're sort of tracking for. But you must always be selling, even if it's gentler. Like, for example, if you have a post and then you say comment the word blank and I'll send you this, you're selling.
Oh.
You see what I mean? And in that, what you can also do to offset it is you can have a slow liquidating offer or an SLO, which is like after someone is engaged with you, maybe you have a very small product, you know, that's under $100. And you can say like, hey, grab this thing, get a little taster. You know, it's like a little thing to see if they like you. Usually those small little impulse buys, those little micro transactions can actually offset the money you're spending to do visibility, the money you're spending to get that email. And in an email, I mean, look, you're going to do a lead magnet. Maybe you'll have 4 emails, which are like the opt-in, getting people into your list. But then you can do a flash sale. Again, you're selling. You can do a nurture weekly newsletter sequence. You're selling there as well. So you are selling. It's just you're not leading with the sale. The advert isn't buy my course. It's more like, do you have this problem? Let's chat about it.
Yeah. I think, like you said, that's where the problem came for that money I wasted on ads. Because previously, the buy my stuff could work. It worked at the beginning 10 years ago, but over time, I think maybe trust or something reduced. I'm not really sure what changed. So I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense because probably they need to say, okay, this person actually knows what they're talking about. Okay, let me buy this small product from them. Oh, the product makes sense. I can maybe buy what they have to offer. So that makes yeah.
I think people have so much choice nowadays, especially with in this digital industry that we're in. You know, you have a lot of coaches, you have a lot of mentors, you have a lot of people who have courses and programs, and it can be very overwhelming to make the right choice. That's why I think running those ads that just say buy my stuff, unless you have a very big platform and you have a very big following, unless you're like a Tony Robbins or like, you know, one of these big motivational people that they're like, here's a course, and people are like, yes, I buy. You know? Unless you're that, you won't get that. You need to get people to understand, hey, Carol is the person who knows about ads. I feel comfortable with her approach. I feel comfortable with the way she's treating her clients as business. Maybe it can work for me. Then you sign up. Same thing with you.
Okay, so now I think we've answered a couple of questions the listener have on this topic. So before we get to the rest of the questions, why did you choose Facebook ads? Why did you pick Facebook ads to specialize in out of everything else?
For me, it was the only one truly that I felt had a lot of data-driven information. So, you know, when you do social media management, it's more like, let's make things pretty. And I'm not a, look, I'm a make things pretty girl. I mean, you can see my office is very pretty, but I'm also thinking pretty isn't good decision making. You can't just do what the clients want. Sometimes, you know, I've had clients who are like, no, we must advertise on LinkedIn because it's a professional place. And I'm like, I can bet you we can get better ROI if we do it on Instagram. And they're like, oh, my people aren't on Instagram. I'm like, have you tested it? Do you have data to show that? And they're like, no. And I was like, so you're just assuming, you've just decided this. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, I make decisions on data. It's not Carol says, it's not I've decided. The data will tell you, should we take this action or not? And for me, that was a game changer. I was like, what? I can make decisions and it's not me? Let's do that. I'm going to study that.
Yeah, I can fully relate to that. I can fully relate to that. I think for the pretty part, I'm not that person. That's why I wear the same t-shirt every day. I can't even pick colors for myself. Yeah. So now for business owners, like I said at the beginning, the ad interface has become really complex, really complicated, intimidating these days. So for business owners who want to get around, and you already said they should never press the boost button, which is the simpler part of it. So for anyone who wants to get started, what's the simplest way to just get started, start playing with Facebook ads? You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was sorry. I think in the beginning, you have to treat everything like there's this book that I read. It's called Eat That Frog, right? And in it, they use this analogy of like, how would you eat a frog if you had to eat one? Well, you'd probably eat it like you eat anything, one bite at a time. So when starting this journey of running ads, I would take it like it can be very intimidating, but I wouldn't start like that. I would start with, what is my goal? What do I want to get out of it? What is my budget? What am I willing to spend and am comfortable with? And then I would follow, you know what, there's so many resources on the Meta website that can teach you how to set up very simple campaigns. If not, you can go to YouTube University again. So many videos there you can watch. But again, don't let it distract you. If you know that what you're looking for is this, follow that objective and go with it, and go with it very slowly. It's more important with Facebook ads, which I always find really fun, is that there's no right way of doing it. The interface and things, yeah, it can be scary. I mean, they've just changed it again, literally like this month, they've just changed it again. Even I, who have been doing this for the last like 8 years, I'm like, why did they move this? Where's this thing that I'm looking for? So you are not alone. I promise you. We also get frustrated. Why they change it? I don't know, but they do. So take it slowly and focus more on the outcome you want to get rather than where are the buttons and what should I be doing? No. With anything, once you have your first set of ads that you've run, you will have a baseline of information, which means now you can know, okay, should I continue? Should I make changes? That's more important, the testing.
Okay. So now, I think I mentioned a bit of this earlier about the budget, about me wasting money, about a lot of business owners wasting a lot of money on Facebook. So typically, from your experience, what's the minimum budget a business owner needs to have to at least start seeing results from Facebook ads? Is there a ballpark number?
Okay, so with that, I like to rephrase that question, right? Whether you spend $10, you are going to get people see your advert, or whether you spend $1,000, people will see your advert. What changes is the speed that they see it. So if you can think of the $10 budget is like a cell phone screen, it's very small, but people look at their phones every day. So of course it can be effective. Whereas if you're spending $1,000 a day, you're going to have a massive billboard. It's going to be huge, right? More people are going to be attracted to it. What I always say to my clients is, let's run a test. So usually for 7 days, we'll run a budget of like $20 each day. And in that, we will get a baseline of how much their leads cost. So let's use small numbers because, you know, it's the start of the day and it's a Monday. So let's start there. If your objective is to get emails, right? And you're spending $10 and you get 10 emails, your cost per result will be $1. Now, this is the next tricky bit. This is the part I cannot help my clients with. And I feel sorry for them because I wish I could help them with everything, but I can't. You need to decide as the business owner, if 10 people come in front of me, how many of them can I turn into clients? Is it going to be all 10? Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 0? Based on that answer, you can reverse engineer the number of leads or the number of opportunities that you need to convert a sale. And it's really important to understand those numbers, because then you can say to me, oh, Carol, I only need 10 people. Great. Then you close all 10, we can stop running ads. Or you can say to me like, oh no, Carol, I'm actually not very good. Like maybe like I need like 50 people to speak to 50 people. Then I can make a sale. That's fine. You can improve your sales skills somewhere else. But what I can do until you improve those skills is I can just bring you more people, and I can say, okay, well, then that's fine. You need to spend $50 to get that result. So with that, you can understand realistically what your budget can do.
Okay, so now I think that answers the budget question. Another thing people have had issues with is finding the right audience on Meta, on Facebook. I know it used to be really easy back in the day with all the interest and co. And you see every few months, you see they keep removing some interest, removing some categories and co. So what's the best way a business owner can identify their audience, even if they are able to just avoid that whole targeting process or something?
So I would say start very broad. That's my advice always. Don't try and niche down from the beginning. So look at general characteristics. Are they a woman? Are they a mom? Are they a business owner? Where are they located in the world? What kind of things do they have? A good exercise that I make my clients do is, if I had to go into a shopping center and find your ideal client, where am I going to find them? Are they at Gucci, or are they at like a discount store? Do they have Starbucks in their hand, or am I finding them drinking Hennessy? You see, the things there tell you a lot about this person. One individual, maybe they're like buying sports clothes, or maybe they're like, buying homeware. It tells you a lot of these things that you can target for, right? And again, keeping it broad. One of the things that they've introduced now with AI is advantage targeting, which means after certain people have come into your funnel and have done the action, the algorithm will actually just show it to more people than it thinks it will go. So it goes broader. You can say like, yes, I want these people, but it will show it to other people if you want it. What I find with that is that it can be really helpful, especially if you have a very broad audience of who buys your things. That can be very helpful. And again, with everything, test. You have to test, because you may think, you know what, moms are my ideal client, but your cost per result or to acquire that person as a customer may be very expensive. Whereas you could say, hey, maybe I should do parents in general, so 2-parent households. Okay, great. That would be a cheaper result, but you won't know until you test.
Okay, so that covers the audience targeting. But another thing, especially because these days, one thing they accuse social media of doing is that it has ruined our attention spans. We just keep scrolling and scrolling. And for an ad to be effective, a scroller has to actually stop and view the ad. So in these days where so many people are online, so many people are posting, so many people are advertising, there's so much competing with your adverts in the news feed. What would you classify, or what would you qualify as what would you say is scroll stopping in this day and age?
Definitely something that stops the scroll and gets people's attention in the first 3 seconds of the advert. Now, a lot of people say like, oh, well, Carol, that's really nice of you to say, but how do I do that? And I can't give you an exact formula for everyone, but what I can say is go back and look at your organic content and look at what performed the best and try understand why it performed well. Was it the hook you used? So what you said right at the beginning of the video? Was it the offer, what you were promoting, your service, or were you adding, was it just value that you were giving? Was it the style of the video? Were you inside? Were you outside? Were you talking like this, or was it very professional the way it was shot? All these things, and you can start to see a little pattern. because all the ones that perform well, there's something that connects them. One, it will help you create better organic content, right? And two, it will help you to create better ads. Another thing I'll say is I know video is very big. Like everybody is like scroll, 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 watching funny videos. But don't forget about pictures. I promise you, I have this one client, Lynn. She's amazing. I love her. Her niche, or the people she works with, they're all in tech, right? So she works with a lot of product managers, she loves engineers, like those kind of people. So it's weird. We tried video with her audience. It didn't do well. We tried a carousel post where they would have to scroll and read through it. And immediately we literally halved the cost per result and we improved like the objective. And it was an image. It was an old school carousel. And I was like, how weird. But that's the fun thing. It's like you have to test and see what your audience will respond to, you know? Sometimes maybe I could say like maybe they felt too stimulated by another video, and the fact that it was just an image and it was very like thought-provoking, it made them stop and be like, okay, what else is here? Let me see the rest. So yeah, test around with different ways, but start with the information of what you've tried before.
Yeah, because I think that what you said about videos, I have that problem. So most times if I'm scrolling my newsfeed and I see a video, I barely ever want to watch videos because I know there's a commitment for maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I don't want to do that. But if it's an image, you probably just wait. And like you said, the carousel, scroll through, you know, you're in control of your time. Unlike a video where you're watching, you don't know when it's going to land, when it's going to deliver, whatever. So you just, okay, I won't bother, and you just scroll. But yeah, so testing is actually really important. So earlier in the interview, you mentioned something about the views, the likes being vanity metrics. I think we agreed on that. So since those are vanity metrics, when a business owner is doing Meta or Facebook ads, what metrics should they look out for that would actually move the needle in their business?
So unless you're doing visibility, that's when you want to look at the vanity matrix. Those are the kind of ones that you want to look at. If you are doing more like a lead magnet, then you want to look at cost per result. So how much did it cost us to get this email? That will be really important. And you can also see where the drop-off rate is. Is it like they're clicking on the ad, but they're not moving to the landing page, or they're not moving to the DM funnel to have the conversation with you? Where's the drop going? And how can we improve that? If you're not getting any results, like they're not downloading the lead magnet at all, it might be the lead magnet is not great. It might just be like, oh, we need to improve this offer before they get it, right? And then the last thing with the sales is your offer like really something that's tantalizing, something that they're like, wow, I really need this? Are you solving a problem? I mean, look, we buy stuff all the time, but generally you buy stuff. I saw this on another podcast the other day and it really hit me. It was like, generally you buy stuff for two main reasons. One, you want to be in that lifestyle. For example, let's say you buy fitness things. You don't buy fitness things really because you want people to be like, oh, I have fitness clothes. No, you buy it because, oh, I'm a healthy person. I wear Adidas. Oh, look at me. I like to run. I drink this water all the time. It's because you want to trick yourself into being like, I am this character. I am the person who is healthy. Therefore, I buy these healthy solutions, right? Or you buy it from a place of, by doing this, it will help me to get to another place. So those are the two main buying psychologies that I really see are really prevalent when people buy, especially ads, because it's like an impulse purchase. No one, unless you've seen this advert for many times, right? You're not really buying it. You're just like, oh, I do have that problem. I don't have people signing up for my email list. I should take that course. Oh, I do want to start a podcast. Oh, and he looks nice. Let me buy that course. Let me do that service. Let me hire this thing. So it's really important that you are solving a problem that maybe people haven't identified yet that they have, or that you're saying to them, do this thing, and I'm going to help you become that person. Those are the metrics I would look at.
Yeah, okay. So I think looking at metrics is one thing, and it means going into your ad accounts regularly. And I was speaking with someone recently. he does coaching and all that, and he was saying that he doesn't really enjoy doing ads because
Okay.
according to him it might need a lot of monitoring, a lot of babysitting and all that. So now from your experience, for a business owner running ads, how often would you say they have to go into their ad account to check these metrics, to check this performance and all that?
I would say daily,
Oh,
but
he was right.
I would say, yeah. And the reason I would say, look, it can get really fast because I look at all my clients' account daily. Even on a weekend, I'll just pull it up quickly on my phone and like I'll spend 5 minutes and I move on. Because there's a couple of red flags you don't want to do, right? The first one is maybe your ads have stopped working because there's a problem with the account, right? Maybe your the card that you put on file, it's expired or there's lack of funds or something and the ad has stopped working. Alternatively, something that can also happen is that your spend is going great and then all of a sudden like your cost per result really increases because you've hit your frequency. Like too many people have seen the same ad and they're getting this thing called ad fatigue when they're like just, you're just same thing on the screen, it's not changing. So your cost per result increases really quickly. Now, just because you're in there every day doesn't mean you have to touch your ads every day, right? There's a difference. Because I also get people who are like, oh, I just want to optimize. Oh, I just want to change this. Every time you make changes, the algorithm has to learn the new changes. It has to learn who it needs to show it to. So I would say go in there and just check that from a technical point of view, you're still on track. There aren't anything that has like gone up and shot up overnight or something like that. There's no errors in the account. You want to go and check things like that, but then you leave it. And I want you to start looking at your ads from a snapshot of like a week and compare a week to a week or a month to a month, because one day is not a good representation. There's clients that I've had like on one day they get 0 conversions, but the next day they get 5. So you're telling me it was a bad campaign because one day we didn't make any money? No, it wasn't. It was a good campaign. But you must see the whole thing together to understand that. And again, just go in, have a quick look, make sure it's fine, and walk away.
Okay. So now you said you can log in and look at the ads, but you don't have to touch the ads all the time. But what if you log in and you see an ad that's underperforming? Maybe like you said, the cost per result is shooting up or something else. What's your approach to fixing underperforming ad campaigns?
I would I'd probably turn that ad off, right? And then I'd start at the beginning. So my personal checklist is I start with the offer. What we're offering, is it actually tantalizing? Is it something that's going to move the needle forward? Is it something that people need, right? Then I look at the ads itself. I look at the copy and I look at the artwork. So I look at the videos or the images and I say, where can we make improvements here? Like, what could we do to make these two better? Now, that's if there's no clicks on the ads. If people are clicking on the ad and they're going to a landing page, they're going to the second location, the problem is generally not the ad. The problem is generally the page. What can you do on this website or on this page to fix it? Is it that maybe your sign up form is all the way at the bottom? Is it that you just have so much text and no images, like no one wants to read? Often, actually, what I find is that people build on a laptop, on a desktop, on a computer, and they forget about mobile. Most of us are watching these things on our phone. So you need to build with that in mind, right? You want to make sure that your pages look nice and load quickly on a cell phone. That's what you should prioritize, because maybe they got there and they were like, oh, it's taking too long, and they left. So maybe that's the problem. And then the last place that I always look at is if they've made it to the ad, they've made it to the page, but now they're not opening emails. The problem's in the emails. What is your subject line? What offers are you putting? Do you have enough buttons? Do you have enough call to actions? What are you saying to them? How often are you emailing them? So again, you have to be patient and like try all these different things. And usually it's just like 1 or 2 things. You change 1 or 2 things and it starts working again, but you must change things.
True. So now, earlier when you talked about getting a copy that works, you talked about looking at your existing organic content and checking out what is working already organically and using that for ads. So now, what are some creative ways that you can repurpose this organic content that's working organically and use it for ads so that it works for your ads, and at least it lets more people, more qualified people see those posts?
So in the beginning, way back when I started my agency, we didn't have lovely things like AI, where you had to think of everything yourself, or you had to hire a copywriter. And you can still do that. Look, I have someone on my team who is a copywriter. So you can always send your copy to someone and let them spruce it up for you. But with things like AI, and I don't care which platform you use, the one that you find the most, with a couple of prompts, you can really repurpose that content a million different ways so that you can try it. What I also encourage is like, there is a place where, because of privacy settings and privacy laws, you can actually see other people's ads and you can see all of them. It's free. You just go to page transparency and you can go to the ad library and you can see anyone's ads. I often say to clients, go see what your competitors are doing. Go see what they're doing. Don't copy, but go see what they're doing. And the reason I say don't copy is because you don't know if that's a good ad. You're only seeing the front. So what you might think you want to copy, I'm going to copy that one. It might be the worst performing ad. What it can give you is some really useful information on, are they running quizzes? Are they running a PDF? Do they have a webinar? Do they have a masterclass? Are they just selling all the time? Does that work for them? So with that information, you can also create similar offers, you know, to say, for example, I have this one client and she runs a certification school for coaches to become a coach. One thing that we did when we were doing research is we saw other schools that offer this thing. They usually have like a class that you can attend, like a pre-class to check, is this something I want to study? Is this something I want to commit to? So we created a similar thing and it's working. I mean, we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Obviously, we don't know their content and we don't know what they're offering, but the concept is similar. It's something that you can see, there wouldn't be a big objection to it. Rather than us having had created, I don't know, a PDF or a meditation, that probably wouldn't have worked.
True. So now, I think you've talked about a lot of things today. So if you were to give our listeners one advanced tip on Facebook or Meta ads that would put them way ahead of their competition and way ahead of everyone else, what's that thing you tell them?
I would say set a budget and run ads. And that it's just that simple. Because here's the thing, everybody else is depending on an algorithm. Everybody else is trying something trendy. They're trying a tactic. They're like, oh, this is trendy, I should do it. And maybe it works, but it's like a little bit of it works. And then tomorrow it doesn't work. And then I have to change this. And then I have to study that. And you're constantly hoping and praying. Whereas with ads, you're actually saying to Facebook, here's money, show my stuff to people. And if you invest in yourself, right? Ads is not gambling. It's an investment in yourself and your business. By taking that money and showing up to the right people, you are saving yourself time, you're saving yourself energy, and you're saving money, because maybe you won't need such a big team to run your social media. Maybe you won't need someone to be a copywriter. Maybe you won't need all these other things, because you have enough sales coming through with the content you're creating. So you create less content and it's more powerful. It reaches more people. So yeah, that's what I would say. Invest in yourself and run an ad.
Okay, so I think we talked earlier about changes, how the platform keeps changing, how different things keep changing. You even said the layout changed this month. So what trends in the Facebook advertising ecosystem do you see coming in the nearest future that you feel business owners should prepare for, should be ready for?
I would say a big one is keeping things native. It's always been important to them to keep people on their platform. But now more than ever, they're like you said, they're fighting with so much attention, like there's so much distraction, right? So they really push the funnels that I see do well, the strategies that I see do well is like, for example, that one where you say, DM me the word blank and I'll send you this thing. Because then usually people comment, so that organically tells that piece of content, oh, that's a good piece of content, I should push it up, right? for that creator. It also shows other people like, oh, let me come here. You've DM'd them that word. You haven't gone to a website. You've stayed on the platform. You go and you're still on the platform when you check your messages, and it's delivered to you right there. So again, you spend more time on this platform. I find that that is a very useful trend that's happening right now. And also AI. AI is everywhere. And I mean, it's very useful. If you are struggling with your copy, in Ads Manager, they do suggest, they give you AI written content that you can use. There is help with the targeting. Like you said before, it used to be so complicated. Who should I target and what? Now, again, you can pick a couple of people and again, choose a more broad advanced thing and the AI will help you. So there is a lot of support in those trends. But like with anything, you have to test because it may work for you or it may not. You just have to test.
Very true. Okay, so I think you shared a lot of things, and a lot of things are going to be helpful to the audience about setting up, about testing, about fixing, and everything in between on Facebook ads. So for listeners or watchers, as the case may be, who want to learn more about this topic, who want to connect with you, who want to probably work with you or anything else, what's the best way they can reach you?
So I have this wonderful quiz. It's going to help you decide if you are ready to run Facebook ads. So before you take your money and you make a mistake, I want you to take my quiz. It's going to take 2 minutes. And in those 2 minutes, it's going to tell you, do you need to work on your offer more? Do you need to create a better funnel? Or should you be running ads? And do you need support for that? So I would encourage you to take the quiz. I'm sure it'll be in the show notes. It's on my website, which is just Carol Kabaale, my name and surname /quiz. Like I said, it's pretty fun. And I'd love to hear what responses you got, like which one of the ones you got. I think that'd be quite cool.
Amazing. So I think like you said, the quiz will be on the screen. It will be in the show notes once this episode is live, and I think I'll probably take it to and see what it's like too.
Yes, I'd love it. I'd love it.
No problem. So thank you so much, Carol, for coming on. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And for the listeners, if you learned something about Facebook ads, about Meta ads, about not wasting your money on the platform, and you know someone else who's struggling with that problem, share this episode with them. Go through the over 100 and something episodes we have. Go through them. If you have any challenges, learn, share. And till next week when we are back with a brand new episode, like Carol said, set a budget, run your ads, test them. Till then, keep taking your business, and bye for now.